Seeing the legendary duo of Akshay Kumar and Priyadarshan teaming up again naturally sets incredibly high expectations for fans entering the theater. And if the recent house-full paid preview shows are any indication, audiences are actively hunting for the next solid horror comedy. But jumping into the theater blindly raises a practical question. Is BHOOTH Bangla actually worth the price of admission, or is it just surviving on the fumes of 2000s nostalgia? To find out, we need to look past the vibrant marketing posters and weigh the actual on-screen execution against the film's pacing. Let's treat this movie the way you treat your weekend, as an investment. You are putting down real money and a significant block of your day. This decision tree maps out the conflict. You have the draw of a classic director-actor combo versus early word of mouth pointing to heavy pacing issues. Your upfront cost is steep, committing over 2.5 hours plus the multiplex ticket cost. Because the required input is that high, whether this movie gives you a positive return depends entirely on what kind of cinematic experience you are looking for. The good news hits right away. The first half of the film delivers heavily on that signature Priyadarshan formula of overlapping confusion and chaos. Akshay Kumar is squarely in his element here. His comedic timing is sharp, anchoring the early scenes and carrying the humor. He isn't doing the heavy lifting alone. Veterans like Paresh Rawal step up to match that exact energy, keeping the momentum alive. Look at this entertainment density chart. You get a solid return during the first 70 minutes. The jokes land and the pace remains brisk, but this establishes a comedic rhythm the script must sustain for another hour and a half. If the movie ended right there, your ticket would easily feel justified. For anyone seeking straightforward, clean laughs, the initial payout is undeniable. Then comes the intermission, and the film's biggest liability takes over, a severely bloated second half. The script actively works against itself here. Instead of moving the plot forward, scenes are artificially stretched just to make sure a massive cast of characters all get their moment on screen. This decision tanks the entertainment value on the chart. Tight pacing vanishes, replaced by sequences that drag on. As runtime bloats, the element of surprise disappears. The story beats become incredibly easy to see coming miles away. Functionally, you could trim 10 to 15 minutes of filler out of both halves of this movie, and the core story wouldn't lose a thing. Ultimately, this lack of editing acts as a runtime tax, slowly eating away at the goodwill the director earned during that highly entertaining first hour. We also have to look closely at the cast. A massive ensemble is a huge part of the marketing draw, but we need to weigh that against the actual screen performance. This trade-off matrix maps out exactly what you are buying with your ticket versus what the film actually delivers in terms of ensemble character execution. Taboo stands out immediately as the biggest missed opportunity. Her immense acting range is left almost completely untapped by a surprisingly shallow script. The cracks show even more with the minor supporting roles. Side characters struggle, expressions don't land. Add weak voice dubbing, and you get moments that pull you directly out of the movie. This is strange because Priyadarshan has built a career on making even the most obscure side characters memorable and essential to the plot. The marquee names might get you into the seat, but a lack of sharp character execution across the board fails to reward anyone paying attention. We have a couple of final variables to factor in. First is the music. Unlike past classics in this genre, there isn't a single track here that sticks with you after leaving the theater. However, the film balances that miss with a surprisingly competent technical execution during its climax. For a moderately budgeted production, the visual effects used for the forest sequences and the Vadu Sur creature actually punch above their weight. Updating our trade-off matrix to reflect this gives the movie a slight final bump in its technical outcome. But let's be realistic. A decent visual finish isn't enough to magically erase the frustration of sitting through that dragged-out second act. So how do you make the call? Your final decision relies on one personal metric. How often do you actually go to the movies? We can map this decision on an audience segmentation chart to see exactly where you fall on the watch versus wait spectrum. If you are an occasional viewer, someone who heads to the multiplex once every month or two just to unwind, then this works for you. You're looking for simple time pass escapism, and the solid laughs in the first half alone will justify the ticket price. But if you are a frequent viewer, a purist, or someone who bought a ticket specifically to see Taboo flex her acting muscles, your math is very different. For you, the high predictability, the squandered potential of the cast, and the massive runtime bloat will make this feel like a frustrating waste of your afternoon. The verdict is a strictly decent 2.5 out of 5. Casual viewers can comfortably enjoy the nostalgia in theaters today. Optimizers keep your money in your pocket and wait for the streaming release, where you can fast forward straight past the filler.